Hello book lovers, and welcome to the beginning of a new vlog. Today is August 30th. It is a little bit after 10. I'm on a break from work right now, so I figured I'd go ahead and start this vlog. I would like to vlog all through September for Becca's Bookopoly. I already did all my roles, so you can check out my September TBR, but I'm gonna try and do weekly vlogs throughout the month, so hopefully that works out and they come out in a timely fashion. But since I finished my last read of off of my August TBR yesterday, I figured I'd go ahead and start a little bit early, which, considering how many books I have on my TBR, is not a bad thing. So I did put a poll up on Instagram to decide what book I would start with, because I wasn't quite sure what I was in the mood with, or in the mood for. And a wasp. You guys chose The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, which I'm incredibly excited for Becca's Bookopoly. This was a prompt for people on the cover. This was also for a selected book for my TBR, and that was a contemporary off of my own TBR, and this book is also one of my 22 books to read in 2022. So fulfilling a lot with this book. This book is very well known, very well loved. We follow two sisters who were very close when they were young, and it seems that they run away as teenagers, and then many years later find themselves in very different places. One of the sisters is living in their hometown once again, which is a primarily Black community, and is living as a Black woman with a Black man, I'm assuming. The other one is living on the other side of the country, I believe, and is living as a white woman, as white passing. They are both white passing. And her husband doesn't know that she is a Black woman, and it seems that the two sisters' daughters paths cross, and I'm assuming then the two sisters are reunited, and we'll see what comes from that. I'm very excited. Like I said, lots of high praise for this book, and I've been meaning to read it for a very long time, so very excited to finally be getting around to it. Hey guys, I just got back from the gym today, after work, obviously, and I finished the audiobook that I was working on, so I thought I'd give you a really quick update on that. I was working on 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, pretty sure is her name, and I am going to be giving that 5 stars. Absolutely incredible book. I regret not buying it like months ago, because when I went down to Portland, that was one of the books I wanted to buy, but they only had the hardback, and I tend not to like buying hardbacks, but this had such incredible writing that I really wished that I had a physical copy that I could just like underline all those romantic, wonderful lines. But I'll have to buy myself a copy so I can reread it someday. This is a contemporary romance that features a woman with an invisible disability, specifically severe migraines. And we also have her having a wonderful relationship with her daughter. She is a writer who is kind of thinking about leaving behind one era of her writing and moving on to the next, a more personal writing journey. And we also have our male main character, who is a recovering alcoholic. who really enjoys teaching and working with disadvantaged children. And we also have two people that are trying to heal themselves from their past, but they're doing it on their own journeys so that they can come together when they're in a healthy place, rather than like leaning on each other fully and just relying on the other person for their health. So really healthy, wonderful relationship development throughout the story. Incredible writing. I thought their relationship was really hot, really sweet, and just had a wonderful, wonderful time reading that book. If you haven't, I know it's really popular. I highly recommend it, especially the audiobook. I thought the audiobook was a really great experience. I haven't made much more progress in The Vanishing Half. So I will probably read a few more pages just so that I can get a general idea of the story before I go ahead and update you further on that. Hey, so it is Wednesday. I'm about halfway through my lunch break, but I'm about 40 pages into The Vanishing Half. Took the cover off. But I figured I'd go ahead and give my first update about the book. So far, we have only been following Desiree, which is one of the twins. We have not seen the point of view of Stella. We don't know where she is, what she's doing right now. So we've been having some flashbacks to when the twins were young and decided to run away at the age of 16 after their mother told them they could no longer go to school because financially they couldn't afford to have them not working. So the twins, deciding that that's not the life they wanted, ran away to New Orleans. And it seems that after a while, Stella kind of disappeared. So we don't know why. We don't know that whole situation yet. But it does seem that she left Desiree behind. And Desiree eventually married a dark black man. And they had a baby together. But after he started abusing her, she and the child left in the middle of the night and have now returned back to their hometown. So far, I'm really enjoying the story. It's really easy to get through. It flows really nicely. I'm enjoying the writing. I'm intrigued by the story. Intrigued by the characters, by their past, what they're going to do in the future. We get a little bit of point of view of the mother. We just had a little bit of point of view from her, how it feels to have her daughters leave, and for one of them to spontaneously show up with a very dark child, because this town that they live in, while they are all part of the black community, are very pale, and they're very focused on their paleness, and it's very important that they only marry people that are paler than them so that they appear white. So the fact that she comes back with this very dark-skinned child is quite a shock to everyone, and to the mother as well. Just let that crow yell. But yeah, I'm enjoying the story a lot. So I just wanted to update you real quick. I'll go ahead and wrap it up just because that crow might start yelling any second again. But I will go ahead and give you an update once I get to know what's going on with Stella a little bit, or any point I have something to say. Alright guys, so I'm about to go with my dad to pick up my car from the shop because it's been having problems. There's Bowtie, and that's gonna be a nice big bill, probably over $700, but at least I don't have to get a new car, which was I was starting to worry I might have to invest in a new car. But then I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm starting a new audiobook. I was gonna start We Hunt the Flames. I read the first 100 pages of that physically, like back in June or something. And I had the audiobook for that, but then Gideon the Ninth came in, and that had a much longer wait time than We Hunt the Flames, so I'm going to prioritize that. I have to admit, I don't know much about what the book is about. All I know is people say lesbian necromancers in space. So I've had a pretty good time with sci-fi lately, and so hopefully it goes ahead and continues with that. And there's a Loki Loke. You'll probably see him in a second. There he is. So yeah, so I will go ahead and let you know what I think about that once I get a little way into it. That is a book that I am using for my spring Aurelium courses, to read a book with a necromancer in it. I can't remember specifically what class it's for. But yeah, just thought I'd update you on that I'm about to go drop a huge chunk of change. At least I don't have to pay college tuition anymore. All right, I'll see you next time. All right, so it is the last day of August, and I'm about to head to bed. I haven't done much more reading in the Vanishing Half because I got home kind of late, picking up the car, going to the gym, and then picking up dinner ended up taking quite a while. So I just now read probably like 5 more pages from where I last updated you. But I did want to quickly give an update about Gideon the Ninth. I listened to about 2 hours and 40 minutes, so about 16%. All those errands allowed me to listen to a lot of the audiobook at least. I have to admit I'm a little confused about what's going on. It just seems like there's been a lot of information thrown at us in these first couple of hours. We have Gideon, who is part of the 9th house. There is 9 houses throughout the galaxy, I think. I think they each have their own planet, it sounds like. And the 9th house seems to be the necromancer house. And so she is there, I think, because her mom showed up on the planet with her or something. I'm a little bit, like I said, a little bit confused about what's going on. But so anyway, she has been living there and has been trying to escape ever since she was like 4 years old. And the story starts with her attempting another escape and it not going very well. And Horo is the, like, princess, I guess you could say. I don't think she's called a princess, but she's like the daughter of the rulers that live there. But she pretty much runs the place because her parents are not quite alive anymore. So she has asked Gideon to be her guard. There's a special name for it that I cannot remember now, but to be her guard so that they can go visit First House to do something with the king. What that is, I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of information being thrown at you in these first like 3 hours of the book, which when you're listening to it while you're at the gym and slightly distracted, maybe isn't like the best idea I've ever had. But I'm sure that as the story goes on, I'll start to understand more of it. It seems that Horo is the necromancer, and she's able to take like little shards of bone and like expand it into like more, like, you know, take like a little bone and make it into like a whole skeleton kind of thing. While Gideon, on the other hand is very skilled with a sword. So they just arrived on the planet where House 1 is, and we'll go from there. We'll see what else goes on, because honestly, I have no idea. But I am still having a good time, even though I'm thoroughly confused. I really enjoyed their banter. It's really entertaining, really funny. The narrator seems to have a slightly British accent, which just adds to the snarkiness of the two of them. So yeah, I have a feeling I'm gonna have a good time with this book. I was kind of surprised that they were so young. I mean, I didn't know this book was YA. I don't know if it is, but you know, Haro is 17, and I'm thinking Gideon is probably like 18 or 19. So that was a little surprising. But you know, it's still a good time. So I will give you updates on that, as well as The Vanishing Half. I don't know how much I'll be able to read tomorrow, since I have a few things that I want to do, including hopefully decorating my bookshelf with fall stuff, because after work I do want to do my August wrap up, and I do kind of want my fall stuff to be set up for that. But otherwise, I will check in with you maybe tomorrow or the day after that or whenever. Alright guys, so I am on my lunch break, and I'm gonna do some decorating of my shelf, just get it ready for fall. Today I want to film my August wrap up, and I'd like to have a cute little fall setup while I do that. So these are the few things that I have. I have a couple little mushroom people that are usually over there. I have this print that I bought, the two little mushrooms, and hi Loki, the one I bought at Target, and of course the new candle. And then I have a couple glass pumpkins, and these are the two pumpkins that I bought last year at Target. So I already put on my Halloween blanket, and my kind of fall like sheets. I put this down for Bowtie because he's, oh my gosh, look how messy he is. I would literally have to wash my sheets every day. All right, Loke. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the romance novels and move my contemporary ones back, just because I'm not loving the romance there. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that, and then we'll move from there. It's not much, but I got the candle and the blue pumpkin here. Then I have my little mushroom man, and one of the pumpkins here, and a little pumpkin here. Just little pumpkins everywhere. I'm wondering if I should get some like fake fall leaves, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. So there, that's about as good as it's gonna get for now. Hopefully it's kind of noticeable that I have some fall decorations up. I didn't find anywhere to put my little piece of art here, So I'll see if there's somewhere else in the room or something like that. Or maybe I'll save it to Halloween because it is a little more Halloweenish than fallish. But overall, I think it looks cute. It's not too much. It's kind of subtle, which I don't mind. But yeah, here it is. Hey guys, so I just reached part 2 of The Vanishing Half. So I think that was like page 77, 78. And it seems that right now, Desiree has recruited the assistance of an old crush of hers, who these days, spends his days hunting down people who, owe bondsmen money or something. And so they are on the search for Stella right now, since she disappeared one night a few years ago, back when her and Desiree were still living together in New Orleans. So far I'm really interested in the story, really enjoying the writing. It's really smooth. That's how I would describe it. It's just, easy to read a few pages at a time. I mean, I am reading it relatively slowly because it is a bit of a slow book. There's not like too much action or anything happening. It's kind of, they're in a small town setting and we're just getting to know the characters a little bit more, their pasts, their present, just getting to know who they are, and what they're hoping for, things like that. Enjoying the commentary on colorism within the Black community. Obviously, this town, Malot, something with an M, whatever it's called, is a town that was made for white passing Black people. And so they are very hyper focused on appearance and skin color. And so that's become very obvious with Desiree bringing her what they call blue-black child, because the child is so black it's almost blue, so that's what they're calling her. And of course her child is not making really any friends and is staying very much to herself in this area. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. I don't know if in part 2 if we'll start kind of getting to know Stella more now, and then maybe in part 3 or something, if there is a part 3, if we'll start following the daughters, and start seeing the two sisters' lives intertwine, if we're going to start by seeing them separately and then coming back to them being together. But I'm definitely interested to see kind of what happens once the cat is out of the bag. I believe that's the saying. If Stella's husband finds out that he's technically married to a Black woman, that could lead definitely to some consequences depending on what kind of man he is. But yeah, I will give you an update next time I have something to say, or at the end of part 2. All right, guys, so I'm about to film my August wrap up, which is why I'm sitting here while I'm all dressed up. But a package just arrived for a book that I just ordered a couple days ago. CS the Cat had posted that the Summer Palace and Other Short Stories got a new cover. So this is the original cover, super simple. But this is the new cover. She's stunning. And this is the back. So, of course, I had to get it. So gorgeous. All right, so it's Thursday night. I reached a little over 100 pages in The Vanishing Half. The last time I talked, I was thinking that part 2 might follow Stella, but it doesn't. It actually jumps 10 years into the future, and we are now following Desiree's daughter, Jude. So according to the synopsis, apparently Jude will somehow stumble across Stella's daughter, and that'll lead to the sisters reuniting, I'm assuming, or something. But I'm really enjoying her point of view. She's now in California at college, and is interested in a boy who I just read is actually trans. Also, one thing I noticed is it's 10 years in the future, but it's now 1978, which means that this book, cat hair on my face, that this book I chose for contemporary is actually technically historical. But I'm still gonna use it since, you know, I for some reason thought it was contemporary. But you know, that was a mistake on my part. But yeah, really enjoying her point of view, and am interested to see what happens once she gets to know her cousin. So I just got to part 3, page 140. I really enjoyed, I think his name is Reese, and Jude's chapters. I think they're a really interesting couple. Reese is a trans man, and Jude is still having some insecurities about the darkness of her skin. But she's very invested in her relationship with Reese. So it was nice to get to spend some time with them. She took up a catering job, and it's looking like at one of these catering gigs, she may just have spotted her Aunt Stella. So things are probably about to get very interesting. So I'm very excited to move forward. Good morning. So it is a Saturday morning, and I'm about to sit down and read about 10 pages of this right now because it'll get me to the 50% mark. I have to say I'm a little bummed that this weekly reading vlog is like one book. But hey, you know, I've been a little busy, got other stuff going on right now, but hopefully things start to settle down a little bit. Also, it's a holiday weekend, so I technically have a 3-day weekend, but it is my grandma's last weekend here, so I'll probably be doing a lot of family stuff, so I don't know how much reading I'll be able to do. But I just wanted to come on and explain a little bit of what was in the B-roll that you just saw. That way I don't have to try to type words all over it. So last night we decided to finally bury our cat Gracie. She was in the little box. She has died years ago at this point. So she's been chilling in the garage, and now she's finally in her final resting place. And we also put in the small bowl that belonged to our kitten Luna, who was actually Loki's sister, but unfortunately we lost her about a year after we got them. So we went ahead and just made a little spot for them to rest, and then we decided to lighten the mood a little by using my TBR game, which you can kind of see sitting right here, to play Mensch Ärgere nicht, which was a lot of fun. My mom ended up winning, but you know, we still had a great time. We were kind of celebrating my grandma's final weekend here, but also a little bit my graduation, which is why you saw that my sister gave me a gift and my parents gave me a card. So it was a really great time, and hopefully, you know, today we have maybe some good Korean food. It looks like we're looking at getting maybe some hot stone. That would be fun. But I will do a little reading now and will update you when I have something to say. So I just listened to another chapter of Gideon the Ninth while I was putting on my makeup. And I know a little bit more about what's going on now, I think. So I thought I'd pop on real quick. So it seems that there are 9 kings or something who were granted like immortality, but it's not really immortality. They just were able to live for a very long time. And over the last few thousands of years, 8 of them have died and there's only 1 left. So they have brought in, I'm assuming mostly members of like the higher families with a cavalier by their side. Cavalier is what Gideon is pretending to be. It seems like this is a position they train for their whole lives, and she has been just practicing how to be one for the last like 11 weeks. So they have arrived at the palace of the first house and will now start some sort of competition to see who gets to ascend to what is, I guess, essentially almost godhood. So that's intriguing that it's going to be like a competition kind of set up, and that, you know, this competition is very dangerous. You know, they're like, hey, you know, you might die kind of situation. So definitely excited to see how that works out. Hey guys, so I just finished the Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I hope you can hear me because it's like relatively windy out and we have the wind chime and the water fountain going. But I just wanted to kind of finish up this vlog since it is Sunday afternoon. I figured I would just go ahead and finish it now since I finished this book. And I won't be able to get too far into any other books, so I'll probably just start next week's vlog a little early tonight when I start a new book. But I'm not too sure what I want to rate this yet. It's probably either going to be a 4 or a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed how this book dealt with such an interesting topic, yet at the same time focused so much on the everyday aspects of these people's lives. So I really enjoyed just watching them throughout time. There is quite a few time jumps, like we jump back and forth throughout the people's lives, through the sisters' lives, through their daughters' lives. But I was never at any point confused about where we were. I thought it was always relatively clear about where we stood. I think my favorite part was Jude and Reese's relationship. I mean, it wasn't like a very forward like romance or anything, but I thought it added a lot to the story. I really enjoy, for the most part, the way it ended. I think it did leave me a little bit unsatisfied, not quite as much closure. between the two sisters as I was hoping. But at the same time, I thought that considering the decisions that the sisters have made throughout their life, that the way things ended was also very much in line with who they were, and so it made a lot of sense. I understand why this book got a lot of hype and a lot of awards. The way it was written, while it wasn't like beautiful writing or anything, it had a really comfortable flow to it. So, you know, while you're reading it, it's really easy to get lost in the story. So yeah, finished my first book off my September TBR. Didn't quite make as much progress in this vlog as I was hoping to. I only got a quarter of a way through Gideon the Ninth, so I don't really have too much more to say on that, other than I am still really enjoying the dialogue in that book. I find it really entertaining, and also that I am still a little confused about what is going on, but for the most part, I have a general idea of the I guess you could say the purpose of the story. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up this vlog right here. Hopefully it's not too long, but it probably is, like all my vlogs. But you know, if you stuck around this long, thank you as always for supporting my channel by watching my videos. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!